single dad saw a little girl searching trash on Christmas Eve, and the truth left him stunned. Snow fell like quiet confessions onto the empty sidewalks of a small Midwestern town in the United States. And on that Christmas Eve, the world seemed to be holding its breath. Nathan Walker noticed the little girl because she was doing something no child should be doing on a night meant for warmth and wonder. She was digging through trash behind a closed grocery store, her thin hands moving quickly as if fear itself were chasing her. The glow of holiday lights reflected off frozen pavement, mocking the silence of hunger and loneliness. In that moment, Nathan's heart clenched, because he recognized that look far too well. It was the look of someone who had learned too early that miracles do not always arrive on time. Before the story goes any further, the narrator gently asks viewers who believe in kindness, second chances, and unseen miracles to like the video, share it with someone who needs hope, comment their thoughts, and subscribe to the channel, because stories like this exist to remind the world that compassion still matters. Nathan was a single father who had learned how to survive after life shattered him. 3 years earlier, his wife Rebecca had passed away suddenly, leaving him alone with a 7-year-old son named Caleb and a grief that felt heavier than any winter coat. He worked long shifts at a local warehouse, came home exhausted, and tried to fill the silence with routine. Christmas used to be Rebecca's season, full of laughter and traditions. But now it only reminded Nathan of what was missing. That evening, he had stayed late to avoid the emptiness waiting at home, telling himself he was doing it for overtime pay, when really he was just running from memories. Seeing the little girl pulled him back into the world. She looked no older than 6, wrapped in an oversized hoodie, her shoes worn thin and damp from melting snow. Nathan slowed his car and parked nearby, watching for a moment, unsure if stepping in would make things worse. He knew how pride could sting when help arrived uninvited. But then, she pulled out a half-eaten sandwich from the trash and brushed off the snow, and something inside him broke. This was not pride. This was survival. Nathan approached carefully, his breath visible in the cold air, making sure not to frighten her. She froze when she noticed him, eyes wide, ready to run. Instead of pressing closer, Nathan simply stood there, hands visible, letting silence soften the space between them. After a few tense seconds, the girl relaxed slightly, though her guard never fully dropped. Nathan offered her a bag of groceries he had just bought, explaining in a calm, steady way that it was Christmas Eve and no one should be hungry tonight. The girl hesitated before accepting the bag, clutching it like it might disappear if she loosened her grip. Nathan noticed how she kept glancing toward a dark alley as if expecting someone to appear. He asked where her parents were, and she lowered her eyes, shaking her head. That answer, empty and heavy, landed in his chest with painful familiarity. He offered to take her somewhere warm, promising nothing more than safety and food. After a long pause, she nodded, following him at a careful distance. Nathan took her to a small diner that stayed open late for truck drivers and lonely souls. The warmth inside felt like another world. He ordered a simple meal and watched as the girl ate slowly at first, then faster, hunger overpowering caution. Her name, she eventually shared, was Hannah, and she spoke in short sentences, as if words themselves were rationed. Nathan listened without interrupting, letting her control the pace, because he understood what it meant to need that control. As the night unfolded, pieces of Hannah's story emerged. Her mother, Claire, had struggled with illness and instability, moving them from place to place, shelters, cars, abandoned apartments, and finally nothing. On that very morning, Claire had been taken to a hospital after collapsing, and Hannah had been left alone with instructions to stay nearby. She had waited all day, growing colder and hungrier until instinct led her to the trash behind the store. Nathan felt a chill that had nothing to do with winter. The truth was already unsettling, but what came next stunned him. Nathan asked for the hospital's name, and recognition hit him like a wave. It was the same hospital where Rebecca had spent her final days, a place of endings and unanswered prayers. The coincidence felt too sharp to ignore. He drove Hannah there, guided by a mix of dread and hope, and after hours of waiting, a nurse confirmed that Claire was alive, but unconscious, her condition serious yet stable. Hannah curled into herself in the waiting room, exhaustion finally winning, and Nathan placed his jacket over her shoulders, realizing he had stepped into something far bigger than a single act of kindness. In the quiet hum of hospital lights, Nathan faced his own truth. He had spent years closing himself off, believing survival meant enduring alone. But here was a child who had nothing, yet still trusted a stranger enough to follow him. It forced him to confront how fear had shaped his life, how grief had turned his heart inward. When social services arrived, Nathan stayed, advocating for Hannah, refusing to let her disappear into paperwork and uncertainty. By morning, arrangements were made for temporary foster care, and Nathan surprised himself by offering his own home. Weeks passed and Christmas faded into memory, but its impact remained. Hannah joined Nathan and Caleb, filling the house with quiet presence and tentative smiles. Caleb, who had grown up too fast himself, shared his toys without being asked, sensing a kindred spirit. The house slowly warmed again, not with decorations, but with laughter and shared meals. Claire eventually recovered, and the reunion was bittersweet. She thanked Nathan with tears, ashamed yet grateful, and worked tirelessly to rebuild her life. Before the ending unfolds, the narrator makes a special request for viewers to comment below, sharing what kindness means to them or how this story made them feel, because every shared thought keeps compassion alive. On a snowy evening 1 year later, Nathan watched Hannah walk hand in hand with her mother down the street, healthier and hopeful. The goodbye was gentle, filled with gratitude rather than loss. Nathan returned home to Caleb, understanding now that healing did not mean forgetting pain, but allowing new purpose to grow around it. The little girl searching trash on Christmas Eve had unknowingly saved him too, reminding him that love often arrives disguised as responsibility. As the story closes, viewers are emotionally asked to like, comment, and share the video if this journey touched their hearts, because stories of quiet kindness deserve to be heard, and sometimes the smallest act on the coldest night can change more than one life forever.